Think like when you get to a certain point, yeah, of this reality, the kind of like the matrix glitches around you so fucking hard, bro. Like so hard. And it's almost at the point where it's you can't tell anybody because they'll literally think you're crazy, right? But at the same time, it reveals itself to you because it's telling you that you are now at a level, or you're occupying a space mentally that you can't actually share with your projections. So literally you're in that in-between phase of, okay, loading. So it feels kind of weird. You can't really talk to anybody. I've got a video I made on like the loneliness, and not loneliness, I call it aloneness, you know. But that's a thing of the body, you know, because like only the body feels alone because it wants to be played with. It wants to, it's like you know, like the example I use with the girl with the toys, right? Or the kid with the toys, like, you know, it's almost like if you put yourself in their shoes, like Toy Story type shit, right? They want to be played with. They don't want to be forgotten about, right? Because the experience for them is so much fun as well. It's so fulfilling for them, right? They enjoy it as well. Truly, 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 right? After all, they're the body, you know? They're the body. Yes, you as consciousness, the experiencer, yeah, I know what the feeling, what it's like to touch a person, right? I know it, but the body actually felt it. Like there and then, you know. And it's like we are consciousness, we are using these bodies to experience life, right? And sometimes I think that's exactly where the disconnect lies, because the body enjoys the experience so much. Like, think back to the example of Toy Story, or the girl with the toys, right? Or the kid with the toys. Like, for them, when they're playing with that girl, they've come to life. When the girl's not playing with them, they don't exist. They don't exist in the grand scheme of things. Their reality is so insignificant to the real world that it's just kind of pointless. Do you understand? Because they're insignificant. It's just matter. It's just matter. So the body has a hard time letting go. And sometimes when we're not careful, the body can trick you, because the body has within it a mechanism, excuse me, which we call the mind, right? And if you're not careful, when you're playing with it, it can take a completely different turn, because it's working in tandem with the body. And that's why, you know, even in religious texts, they'll talk about, you know, turn away from the flesh, you know. Like, how can you turn away from the flesh? You live within it. The fuck? How the fuck am I going to turn away from my dick? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. You can't turn away from the machine. It's trying to tell you to not listen to it. That's what it is. Don't listen to it. That's what it's telling you. You know, it's not all about fucking, because this sex obsession, you know, it's what got us in this mess in the first place. You know, and I know I played my part. I know a lot of us did. I don't give a fuck who you are. Look at the place, bro. Like, most of the world know what Tinder is. True or false? Crazy, right? And how old is Tinder? How many people in the world really know about any kind of like deep knowledge? But they know about shit like that. It tells you the direction where we live. We are in the flesh fully, you know. No one's saying don't have sex, bro. Have sex. Have all the sex you want. What I'm telling you is, if you're just doing it out of like just a gratification, you know, satisfy the body and the mind, you're then in essence you're abusing the mind. You're letting the mind abuse consciousness and your body. Well, not abuse consciousness, but not like it's taking consciousness off its course, because it can when consciousness is asleep or not in control of the vehicle. It literally can. And a lot of us that are here, the shit that we've seen, right? It's like you get to this point and you're like, okay, that was fucking crazy. Like, how the what? You know, who even was I? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost that crazy, right? It's almost crazy. It's almost like there's so much non-identification with the self anymore that it's actually mind-blowing, some of the shit, you know. But all that's required is understanding, bro. I keep saying this. With a high level of understanding, we'll all be free. Because right now we're in a bit of, well, we put ourselves in a bit of a shitty situation. Made ourselves slaves. Like, imagine when you're in this space and you truly recognize your godhood, you know, and the energy that powers you and all the rest of it, and the majesty, the sheer power of it, right? It's kind of almost embarrassing when you think, fuck, man, I actually took you to that place. I'm so sorry. That's literally the vibe. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, all that time I wasted? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. We could have been, do you know what? My bad. You know. But this is where the story gets deep. Because I truly feel like we as consciousness inhabit these bodies. These bodies come with this story. So it doesn't, that's just the story within the body. You know, consciousness didn't, because I've always told you, consciousness is always pure. You know, so consciousness picked up the body. Yeah. And it's like your body went through the training sim, got prepped, loaded with all the stories and stuff. Consciousness jumps into that body. But the trick is for consciousness not to fall into the trap of the toy, the thing, the mechanism, but to look outside of the eyes with its own eyes and experience the game that it wants to experience. That's the key. Anything else is vanity, bro. Pointless. It's just suffering in a very weird way. Because when you are in that energy, you will vibrate how you're supposed to vibrate energetically, and it will go to affect all your projections. If you want to assume they're real, go ahead, and it will reflect in your interactions with them. Essentially, it's interacting with yourself, just in different masks, but you are just at a higher level of understanding, you know. So it's like we're playing toys with, you know, our toys, but they're life-sized, right? And I'm powering all of them at the same time, but I just don't realize it. I just don't realize it. That's what it is. And you're doing the same in your world and my world. And yeah, we've had the conversations about the nature of our worlds and how, you know, essentially we're interacting across dimensions, really, because I would never be able to enter your world. Your microcosm is completely separate from mine. We don't live in the same world. Like, we actually don't. I know people think it's crazy, but if you really think about it, we don't. I think I've said this before, I can't remember, but essentially the length and breadth of where you've ever been, what you've seen, is your reality, bro. That's it. That's your world, and it will only have your unique perspective on it. I can go to all those very same places, and I will not be able to. It will be different. The steps I'll take would be different. The options do you understand? And the fact that there's that difference is that's the kind of like the mechanism, that's the edge of your body bubble mechanism, and what makes me different in terms of I'd go here, the choices I'll make, blah, 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 blah. That's the edge of mine, and that's the edge of yours, and it goes on forever. But essentially it's just the same energy that's just doing it, but it's just doing it through different things. And I know I keep saying this all the time because I have to. Because this realization, right? This realization is really profound. I know we laugh and joke and we take the piss and we just fuck around most of the time. Because we're just the cool kids. We're cool. That's what we do. Anyway, it's very profound, and I know it's like people say this, but like I feel like they don't go far enough. They don't delve deep into the nuts and bolts of it enough, and it's almost like a revelation of me telling you that the earth is a dream, or it's a bubble, or it's flat, or it's just a whatever. Yeah, it's a VR set, whatever. It's crazy. And because your consciousness, you recognize the truth in it, but because a lot of us are still tethered to the story, I need to keep saying it so then we can let go of the story and come to the realization eventually of the oneness. And once we get to that point, that's it, bro. We'll be standing in the center of the black hole. They are far out concepts, I know. They have to be. Because that's how far out we are, bro. Because I don't think people stop and think about life enough, bro. Like the other day I was walking and the sun was setting, and it was such a beautiful picture. Like I took a photograph and I thought to myself, people every day wake up and they walk around and they reckon there's a white dot in the sky, like a white circle in the sky, which is surrounded by like a shiny ring. Yeah, silvery, yellowy ring, right? That radiates light in all directions all the time and also radiates heat. Yeah, but as we get closer to it, even on a basic level, when we take off on a plane, it's colder up there, but yet when we are directly underneath that sun, it's warm. Like, it's crazy. And I sometimes stop and think, like, people don't stop and realize that in itself is just magic. Don't you? So when you start to see the magic in the everyday, right, you will get closer to like the truth, bro. Because the truth is so far out, right, and it's so in your face that it's kind of hard to believe sometimes. But it's true. That's the thing. And as you realize, oh shit, you're under illusion, it's just your eyes are opening to what you are. Because you, pure consciousness, cannot be under illusion. It was the body that was under illusion. Because you weren't aware that you were not the body. So it's not your fault. And that's why I tell you, because it's not your fault in that sense, because nobody's perfect. That's just the way the code is written, yeah? That's why consciousness will never judge you, because you didn't do anything, you just were not aware. God doesn't judge. Judge for what? You weren't aware. You didn't know. You didn't know.